Hi, hello, welcome to God and Broken Pieces. I am Precious, the heart behind God and Broken Pieces, and today I would like to share with you a story of this boy who was so pure in heart. I love him so much and I can relate with him because of the similarities in our story. What I admire though and wish I could have is the attitude that he had and maintained throughout his life, even throughout the challenges that he went through. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about this boy who shared his dreams with his brothers and continued to do so even though it was apparent that they despised him for the dreams, and even though they were not excited to hear the dreams. Not once but twice he went to them to share the very same dream that he had, which was similar to the previous one, and their reaction was the same. In fact, it even escalated. And what I found to be so interesting is how could the brothers have responded in that way? Because it's not that as he was sharing his destiny with them, it's not that they didn't have their own destiny. So it's apparent that they could see that what he's sharing with them is something so big and so grand, and the jealousy stemmed from what about them? What about their destiny? Are they also as great as he is? Are they also going to be as great as he is going to be? Because this dream proves to actually have them bow down to him or be his servants in some way or another. And that's what made them uncomfortable. Something in them might have told them that what he's sharing is actually a revelation of his destiny. They could have also just waited for God to show them what their destiny is. It's just that it didn't happen in that way, that they didn't dream about it, and it didn't happen at the same time as Joseph saw his destiny. Of course, I'm talking about Joseph. Things don't always turn that way. People are not always excited when you share your visions with them, when you share your dreams with them, when you reveal what God has laid on your heart concerning where you are going in life. It's not everyone who will be excited for you. More especially the ones who are closest to us. Sometimes we don't get the necessary support from them. Not all the time, but sometimes. And there's a reason for that. As a person who has had a fair share of pain and trauma in my own life, in my childhood specifically, which shaped the way I function and which altered my personality and also dictated how I show up. I used to have a certain negative perspective over my life. I used to be angry. I used to be bitter over the past and the current that has been shaped by the past, which just kept on being a trigger of the things that have happened to me, which have shaped the way I am. And I didn't know that actually I could change that. I didn't know how much of power I have at my disposal to be able to change how I function. I didn't know the tools. I didn't have the tools to use in order for me to do that. One of the biggest tools for me was the Word of God, because that's when I was able to discover God. And in discovering God, then I was able to discover myself. Most of the things that happened which claimed to want to alter and shape my life actually didn't matter, because now I had found the key to actually access the real me. Okay, which is very important. I will go into depth as we go along. One of the things that altered my attitude, the thing is, as I was going through all of those things, I couldn't see how God could have been part of that. I couldn't see how any good could come out of that until God brought my attention to the story of Joseph. What is interesting about these two parallels, my life story and the traumas that I experienced in my childhood, particularly in my teenagehood, and Joseph's story and the pain that he experienced also from his teenagehood, because his father favored him and all things were good and well until he came into his teenagehood, and as time went by, he began to experience challenges. The parallels there between my life and Joseph's life is the pain that we have experienced. Even though one may have thought that it was the enemy, one can also think that it might very well have been God. He knew what he was doing with our lives from the beginning. And even when we were going through those hardships, all of that could have been part of the plan. And you will see what I mean by that when I talk about the events that took place in my life and in Joseph's life, which looked like abuse, which looked like ill treatment, which looked like unfair treatment, which looked like lack of favoritism, which looked like rejection, which looked like sabotage, which looked like whatever it is that is negative that can really hurt the inner person, hurt your identity, hurt your self-esteem, hurt your confidence, or even seem to be hurting your future and your destiny. Those things may very well be the things that God intended to use in order that at the end of the day, when you look back in hindsight, then you can be able to see what He was trying to accomplish. All right. Thank you for watching. To stay connected with God and Broken Pieces, subscribe, follow, and engage with our posts wherever you are watching this from.